Dham.
We get to know what that means.
Yeah, truth in the name.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
For my true identity is one with that universal identity. The God in me recognizes the God in you, or the truth in you.
Well, it's great to be here, and it's great to see old friends, and great to have the opportunity to come visit with you folks. We want to talk about the history of the Sikh religion briefly, and then sort of our experience in becoming Sikhs, and probably answer any questions you folks might have about that. We're pilgrims, okay? We weren't born into this religion. Religion came from, it's about 550 years old, came from northern India. And the first Sikh guru was Guru Nanak. He was born near Lahore in 1469, so that's a ways back. At that time, Pakistan used to be part of India. It was India, yeah, before it separated. Anyway, at that time, there were these Mughal emperors and their armies moving from Afghanistan into northern India. And the idea was they were going to develop little kingdoms and whatnot, and exploit the wealth of it. And India, you know, is mostly Hindus. Sikhs are about 2%. And at Guru Nanak's time, it was 0%. It was just him. So he had a compadre named Mardana, who was a Muslim, who played music, and he went around the country talking to people about realizing God and not criticizing the difference. There's a huge difference between the Muslim religion and Hindu religion. And so he was teaching one God, and that we're all the same. So one of the things that really appealed to me was that there's one creation. There's one God and there's one people. We're all the same. Okay? And God lives in His creation. God lives in you and me. You just that's a nice introduction. Sanam Kaur is a child of the Western Sikh movement. So anyway, Guru Nanak went around teaching the idea of one God, and don't look at different religions and criticize their practices. Some of the Muslims were cutting heads off if you didn't convert to. So, yeah. So the other thing he'd dispel, religions have rituals and sometimes things that are I don't know, anyway, rituals. And so he would go along and be talking to these people who are throwing water towards Mecca, okay? And so he's asking him, what are you doing? Well, I'm giving water to my dead relatives, you know? So he would start throwing water to the east, and they'd say, well, what are you doing? Because this is not the ritual, right? Well, he said, I'm irrigating my crops. So this was the sense of what he was doing, is sort of dispelling these rituals and talking to these folks. So in the Sikh religion, there were 10 Sikh gurus. they came one after another, divinely inspired. Their songs of praise were written, put into a book called the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib. And the 10th Sikh Guru was Guru Gobind Singh, famous as a poet and a warrior. And he had a ceremony on Vaisakhi Day where the guruship of the Sikh religion was given to the book. Okay, so anybody who wants to talk to the guru can read the songs, praises that are in that book. And there were other people who were not Sikhs, famous at that time. His writings are also in that book. So he's famous for giving us turbans, giving us kirpans, giving us our 5Ks that we relate to. And he did 20 campaigns against these Mughal emperors. You know, wars. Okay. Guru Nanak was not a warrior, but the times had changed and this had changed. And so that's where the Sikhs' identity was sort of established. Long hair, turbans, kirpans, the knife. Okay, and it's for the defense of righteousness. Okay. So, and katas, we're all linked to each other. When you draw your knife, you know, this is reminding you, use it only in righteousness. And kangas, comb in the hair, and Sikh underwear for chastity. So that's where the religion came from. And you're probably thinking, like, why are these two white kids who came from Protestant homes in California, why are you doing this, you know? Why would you change? Why would you change? And my own self is I had well, anyway, I had a traumatic experience being in Vietnam for 2 years and then coming back to America, and everything just seemed kind of crazy to me. You didn't believe the government, you didn't believe anything. There's a lot of pressure from different groups while I was in the service that you got to get baptized, you're not going to go to heaven, you're not going to do this and that. And at the same time, I saw all these other people from Asia, been to Europe, been to Israel, and I'm going, well, are these guys all going to hell? And it just didn't make any sense. Did not make any sense at all. And then we came and experienced our teacher, the Sri Singh Sahib, talked about the Sikh religion. And the idea is that the Sikh religion respects all other religions, all, you know, spiritual religions. I don't think we're into devil worshippers, but and the metaphor for that is here's a mountain, God's sitting on top of the mountain, and there's all these little paths going up the mountain, and they represent different religions. Later I came to the understanding that religion was created by man. Okay? People think it's God inspired. Keep track of the time on me, okay? Oh, okay. And that she's watching her watch, yeah. Anyway, the idea is that when you find the purpose of religion is to somehow develop a spiritual sense of the creation. Okay, I need to be connected. The creation is so huge. You look at the sky, the stars, you know, I need to get a connection to that. And so different religions fit different people's needs to develop that connection. So then why would a Sikh criticize somebody else's religion. Hey, they're on their spiritual path. I'm on mine. Okay. So it was attractive to me because it's so universal. And it's obvious that you folks are very universal in your thinking. Very universal in your thinking. So the idea of wearing a turban and having long hair and whatnot is not wearing your religion on your sleeve. It's about remembering yourself that you're a Sikh. You want to live by the Sikh principles, okay? And the three founding principles are praise God in the morning, earn an honest living, and share what you earn. Okay? Not too hard. Maybe harder to do than it is to say, but so anyway, it just really appealed to me, and my wife is a very spiritual person, and so she's the one who kind of like attracted me into this religion. So you have something you wanted to share?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So along the line of one God, one creation, one people, and one thing that also attracted me to Sikh Dharma was the relationship to body, mind, and spirit all being important. It's not important, I believe, therefore I know it, and my mind is closed. Instead of that, developing the body as a receptacle or a temple to receive that wholeness of who we are in body. And in the mind, meditation, and rather than, once again, beliefs, it's how you do good in the world. There's 4 pillars of Sikh Dharma: Bana, Bani, Simran, and Seva. Bana is not just your clothing, your turban, blah, 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 but it's your projection. That's part of what you're wearing is your aura, your projection, how you present yourself in the world. Bani is how you speak and how you pray, and let them be the same. Recognizing the other person's sacredness of the other person, and that person is the indwelling God. So as you're speaking about or to someone, bringing to mind, and the power of prayer develops that in one. Simran is meditation on the divine, and Seva is also serving. So it's not good enough to be cloistered. We're not monastic, we're family livers, and we like to go out in the world not to proselytize, but to share the goodness and the mutual grace of one another, the God within each other. The basics of Sikh Dharma are to live as we're created. So each body part is there for a reason, whether it's hair on your legs or hair on your head or your tongue or your ears or whatever. They all have a purpose in your body for the expression of your divinity. So for that reason, we maintain all our hair as an antenna for that universal energy to rise, come into the body, indwelling in the body, and rise up the spine and expand us in universality. So we rise in the morning. We like to give 2.5 hours of the day as our ideal to the one who gives us 100% of the day. And that can be through exercising the body, so examples of yoga, tai chi, qigong. So we're maintaining the body temple. What good is it to fall into disrepair unnecessarily for neglect? So then we do that 2.5 hours. It might be service. It might be even service to your family, cleaning the house or doing the gardening, but some form of service, reaching out to the other and seeing that God in one another. So we might do chanting, singing, like you hear here, and those songs were inspired by the one who brought us Sikh Dharma in the West in prayer. And the last precept is living by the sweat of your brow, not out of exploitation of others. So we wouldn't learn our living through gambling or exploiting workers or slavery or any other form of degrading others, but rather through our own efforts. And then we want to share, once again, part of that back to the whole. We're the little I am and expanding to the big I am. There's 5 sutras of the Aquarian age which we would like to live by. One is recognize that the other person is you. There's a way through every block. When the time is on you, start and the pressure will be off, and we all know how procrastination doesn't deliver the goods. Understand through compassion, or you'll misunderstand the times, and vibrate the cosmos, and the cosmos will clear your path. Since we've done the Long Time Sunshine song already, in closing, I'd like to...
Why don't you talk about women?
Oh, the other thing was the gender equality. So we don't have any putting down of women as being less. For example, woman, or the feminine creative principle is the creative principle of God himself. So one of the songs of Guru Nanak was, out of a woman, princes are born, men are born, everyone is born, how can she be less than a man? And after, and to start our form prayer, it says, after first worshiping the Adi Shakti, the primal power, which is the feminine creative power of the universe, before we do anything else, we recognize that the feminine is the creative energy of the divine. So I'm not a very good singer, but I'd like you all to stand. And if you feel comfortable, grab somebody else's hand. From one creation the Lord came to be. From one creation the world came to be. From this mantra into eternity. From this mantra into eternity. We all dance to this song of God. We all dance to this song of God. Let's join hands and carry it on. Let's join hands and carry it on. Carry it on. Carry it on. Carry it on. Thank you very much.
Why you get a G Khalsa? Why you get a G?
Pate.